Good morning, everyone. Jesse Webb, Traders Pro. I've got a little bit different chart here that I want to start off with today. When looking at Traders Pro, we've got a couple of different things for you to be able to just quickly visualize current trends. One of them is this upper location right here. You'll notice that you've got this long-term downtrend, you've got a current short-term uptrend, but then you also have the signal, which is a hold signal, which is just a neutral or flat trend. It's kind of in a range-bound motion. I've talked about this in other videos. That setting is set right here, and on the chart setting you can actually toggle that back and forth on this setting right here to go from just a traditional candlestick view of an up day and a down day, and you can also go to the signals, which is here. So you can see this yellow. This is on SPY, which is the ETF for S&P 500. So we're at a location which is becoming pretty interesting right here. Number one, we obviously are in this long-term downtrend. Now, in relation to the long-term downtrend, that is corresponding to the Direction Alerts long-term downtrend. So we're very similarly to that. So we're in a obviously real, significant downturn, and it's towards very extreme to that downside on the long-term downtrend. I've mentioned this before. That current reading is -19. Traditionally, it's -5. Very volatile markets right here historically. They typically are not this volatile. So a -19 is deeply oversold, and so we're at a location where we could start to bounce. So when you're looking at this chart, something like this, you can see that, okay, it's not, what do we want it to look like? Ultimately, what we want it to look like is we want it to look like maybe a stock like this, STNG currently, where you've got everything in green up here. Okay, it's inside of this buy zone, which started back here. It's outside of this trendless zone, and it's starting to trend higher. You've got the signal as an uptrend or a buy. Short-term trend is up, long-term trend is up, and as well as this stock is, you've got fundamental increases as well. Annual earnings per share growth, last quarter's earnings per share growth are fantastic. So this is a fantastic stock to be able just to glance and see, do I have everything that I may want to consider for this stock? Number one is, yes, it's in an uptrend. It's moving in this direction. Everything is green. It's inside of the buy zone. It's almost outside of that buy zone, which doesn't mean the trend is going to reverse. It just simply means that it's at extreme, or potentially could be extreme, and then getting ready to pull back into the buy zone. Let me show you an example of that. One of the settings that you can utilize as an upgraded subscriber is the 21 scan setting. These are 21 scans that I've got set up they're already set, and they're fantastic scans. One of the ones is this ST Trends, or excuse me, one of the ones that I wanted to show you is this ETF Bullish Extreme, to show you what an extreme looks like. Okay, so this is actually a hedge fund of interest rates only. I think the next stock is an ultra, so this is the triple T's, which is ultra short 20-year treasuries, and you can see that treasury yields or the price of bonds have been dropping. This is ultra short, so as bonds are dropping, this one is going to increase. It's at an extreme range, okay, and those trends are not sustainable. So in bonds, so when you see this setting, yes, everything's in an uptrend, but it's at an extreme. It needs to pull back inside of this range a little bit. So those are two really quick indicators to say, okay, we've got bonds that are extremely oversold. In this case, it's an inverse ETF, so it's the opposite direction, moving higher. Nonetheless, bonds or interest rates could pause right here. We also have a stock market that is trendless currently, as denoted by the SPY. Okay, and we have SPY here, so it's kind of trendless. It's kind of bottoming out. It's working on trying to get back towards that uptrend. The other thing that's very interesting today is this real strong bullish candle. We've had 3 down days. You had retracement 1, 2, 3, and then a real strong confirmation bar right here. Futures are up this morning. So this may be, we're going to run into some resistance right here, but this pattern, this bottoming process could be quite bullish for stocks, whether it means we just retrace back up and move a little bit higher here in the shorter term, or if we are gradually starting to work on a new confirmation of a bull market. Is the $1,000,000 question, right? So if we go back here, let's go back to that original analysis. We're in that long-term downtrend. We're becoming neutral. It's mildly bullish in a bear market. Obviously, this is the bear market portion of that reading. It's mildly bullish because we're starting to see some that SPY is back into that hold range. All major markets currently are. Our buy-sell ratios are kind of hovering right here around flatline. We're not extreme here or here, and we're also starting to see that little bit of divergence, and we're coming back towards an equilibrium right here, which is a buy-sell ratio of 1. The buy-sell ratio right now is 6. Okay, when it crosses over, that's when we get a buy-sell ratio of 1. So we're still in this, still a little bit bearish, but we're working on becoming bullish. Those are indications that things may be starting to turn. Okay, so being able to look for some of those setups in just a very short amount of time, to just glance and look to see where there may be some opportunities. One of the other things that I wanted to show you this morning is, again, in that 21 scans, you've got one of the settings down here is an ST trend up with volume of 100%. So what this one's going to do is it's going to show you an ST trend that has just moved back from red to green, and you've got a 100% increase of volume over the previous day. This can be a great scan to utilize to be watching for new setups, early entry setups. The next stock, I think, actually this stock was the one that I want to look at, because this is a really nice setup right here where you now have this setup is all green. We've just barely moved outside. We're just barely inside the buy zone, and we've got a good, solid, strong uptrend, and we have massive volume. Volume typically is an indication that there's lots of people interested in this particular stock, and you've got that overall setting. So being able to just glance at a chart, at a stock, and be able to see that overall uptrend, and be able to have a scan that can provide you just a handful of stocks quickly in the morning. You can glance through in the morning or in the evening and look for some of these setups, and that's one of the things that you can do with an upgraded version of Traders Pro. So have a great day today, and happy trading.